the core. For now, though, we're going to shuffle the cards anew. We're going to announce the battleground for game number 2. It is going to be Cursed Hollow. And as you can see, the lights go purple. I'm really starting to get worried for Team France here. That was not the Finnish team we're used to seeing in the first and second best of 3. That's a completely different squad.
Yeah, absolutely. They were able to play that game beautifully, both in almost all of the stages of the game, except that mid to late game that France were so far ahead in. This is a map, though, that can lend it to that particular length of game.
And let's not forget that the Finnish tournament life is on the line here. They are currently tied with Italy, and only if they win against the big name against France, they can even hope to make it out of groups.
Yeah, it's a tough path for Finland, but with a start like that, why can't they do it?
Yeah, absolutely true. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to see which heroes are going to get picked here. Is there anything that you would not want to see on the side of Team France or Finland?
I don't know, actually. Honestly, both of these teams have shown to be quite flexible in general with some of their picks.
Let's rephrase it. Is it time for the Zagara?
Absolutely, it could be.
Yeah.
Zagara excels on Cursed Hollow. The way that she can use that global pressure, especially during the mid-game curse phases, can give huge XP advantages and open up win conditions with the bosses.
Techer, I think we're in for one hell of a ride here as we see France struggle. If you want to support the French team, if you're from France or living anywhere else but still cheering for them, then let us know by dropping a hashtag FRWin in the chat. Same goes, of course, for Team Finland. If you think that Team Suomi can make it all the way out of this best of 3 with a clean 2-0 victory, hashtag FIWin is your thing to do right now.
So last time we saw France starting off with the Genji ban. This time, though, looks like they still feel comfortable in their own standard play and want to remove things that could give Finland cheeky wins, aka XP soaking. Genji also can still be part of that cheesing style.
I think fans absolutely have to deny the Genji. If they saw the games against United Kingdom yesterday, Tix, he put his T on his back and he went in. So denying Genji, a choice I very much like. This could mean the fans are looking to first pick Abatha.
Solo tank Johanna, on the other hand, remains unsuccessful in the Nexus games. Maybe it is time for Team France to prioritize another warrior. ETC, we saw once again what this one here was capable of doing.
Yep, he has been dominant from every team that has played him. I would argue he probably has potentially the highest win rate in this tournament so far.
Maybe in the warrior department, yeah.
Definitely in the warrior department, compared to heroes like Murin, who have been picked significantly less.
Yeah, very true. So, what is it going to be? Last time when the Zagara was banned out, they actually did very well. Team Finland, that is. Is it worth the first ban, though, Bakery?
Yes.
Yep. Apparently it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
No risks. I mean, arguably, Cursed Hollow is a better map for Zagara because it is larger. Would you agree on that?
Yep, I would argue that Zagara's global potential with those Nidus Worms makes her great on this map, especially opening up those potential boss lanes can be really important, and allowing her to split push for longer and then join her team for tribute fights.
Well, those bans mean that a Tassadar is available, though.
Tassadar is available, but so is Abatha.
Yep.
Do Finland have the player pool to pick Abatha? What do we think?
Well, France were hovering over it as a ban. If they've done their research, this might be why. So far, though, it's not going through.
Does not look like it.
Keep in mind, though, that Klefter, who's very likely going to play the Rehgar, did struggle last time they played on that hero. He just had a great time, though, on that Ana overall. Those heals and the grenades were really causing a lot of trouble for Team France.
Yeah, they were very solid. Both of the supports actually really solid.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Troll's deliverance there that we were talking about. The extra bonus healing. All the bonus healing for the Gul'dan.
I was under the impression it was Tyr's deliverance, but absolutely agree. Fantastic adaptation.
It's Tyrael. So yeah, pronunciation. Yeah, fair enough.
Absolutely fantastic adaptation by the Uther in that game. MXD as well on the Ana, very impressive, as we saw in that replay I went over with the double sleep.
Yeah. Klefter and MXD, those guys really kept Finland alive in the truest of sense. Now, we have the Tassadar locked in. There is a hyper carry playstyle available for Team France. Danaton on that Vala was supported by 2 supports in the last game as well, but none of them is really equally comparable to a Tassadar, and this is exactly what we wanted to see here. Kirva, most likely one of his comfort picks, one of his fallback heroes.
And that Tracer was dominant the last time we saw it. They've got a Muradin to go with it, a huge distraction hero, allowing Tracer to get all the work done.
Right, Tracer is going to try to get all the work done, but what does she need? Does she need another assassin, or do you think there's going to be a double support, double tank with it?
I'd like to see either a melee assassin, some high damage hero, possibly a Malthael, possibly a Sonya, or another assassin, like a Greymane, like possibly even a Li Ming. I think Tracer alone, she excels when she has space, and I don't think fans can create enough space if they had a double support, double tank lineup.
The Vikings banned out, and I believe we have seen France play this already, so this is definitely research being done by Team Finland.
Yeah, I think Team Russia and Team France are two of the teams that really relied on the Vikings in this tournament thus far.
But at the same time, France did look very weak with those lost Vikings against Italy on Towers of Doom, and that is the game that they did lose.
I think for Team Finland, it's right now all about feeling confident and comfortable, especially. They do not want to deal with those split-pushing shenanigans, which can really have a crippling impact on team communication as well when things are getting hectic because you need to keep multiple lanes inside.
And this is a statement. They feel comfortable with their team fight, so much so that they want to try and force France into that style. They do also currently have the only global potential in the game in the form of that ETC with the potential stage dive, despite us not seeing it a single time so far in this tournament.
We have seen one thing of stage dive. Yep.
Which match?
I don't remember, but we did see at least one, I think maybe two.
I think it was Team Germany actually who tried to use it once, where we had rain on it, but it's definitely fair to say that Moshpit has been the way to go.
Yes, now it's been dominant.
Tetcher said Team Finland excels at team fighting. Would you agree? Do you think their team fighting is stronger than the French one?
It's tough to say. A lot of their weaknesses on day one and in that UK series was they were losing team fights. And as soon as they started winning team fights in these series, they've looked scary. So...
Yeah, and you actually quite misunderstood me there. I'm saying they are making the statement of wanting to team fight.
Fair enough.
With the fact they are banning all of these potential split push heroes, and their style is very much leading towards a team fighting style.
I mean, if you took a look at last game, they looked really good on those team fights. I mean, they did have a 5 versus 4 situation, to be fair, but still, they really put on the pressure quite hard.
So as we saw in game 1, leaving Tix's hero until the last possible moment, a move I very much like, securing comfort picks for the rest of their players. The Arthurs and ETC are very flexible in this draft. You can have the Arthur's main tank, or you can have the Arthur's off lane. And I think that's going to be very valuable against this Tracer Hammer Medic combo.
We have seen the French Sergeant Hammer used to great effect in the earlier days this week. Question is, can they do it again? Those Arthurs, especially if he's able to wade through all of that Sergeant Hammer damage, can be a real menace onto the backline of France.
So we basically see a French team that relies completely on physical damage with Tracer and Sergeant Hammer for the most part. Why was Morales picked into that bakery? Can you give us a little bit of an elaboration on that? Why Sergeant Hammer plus Morales?
So Morales has been picked as something a bit like a cheese. It's the highest sustained healing output in the game. And what's going to happen is Hammer is going to go to a lane, they're going to stick her there, and they want Morales to be healing her up and up and up. That creates a scary lane that cannot be pushed into and always has push pressure. On the other side of the map, they are going to stick the Tassadar Tracer, another very scary lane which cannot be pushed into and of course does have push pressure once the towers do run out of ammo. Running this 2-1-2 setup, they're going to plan to win from the laning phase. But Cassia locked in a counter to both Tracer and Sergeant Hammer.
She has blinds, she has armor. She is the perfect pick to run into this. She even takes advantage of the fact that Morales has to be quite near to Sergeant Hammer with her Lightning Ball heroic. Brilliant pick, absolutely love it by Finland, and the chat seems to only slightly agree.
Yeah, that is of course still a thing. If you need to support, or if you want to support your respective team, then please feel free to drop the necessary hashtag in the chat. We would love to see those percentages shift as much as possible. And it's actually quite interesting to see that France is now the minority. It's just a minor minority, but still a minority.
Finland winning over a lot of people in that last matchup, putting on quite the show.
Yeah, really cool to see. And gents, if we take a look at those finalized drafts here, do you think that Finland has what it takes to really face that scary physical damage combat, France.
The crux of this entire draft from Team Finland is Tix on that Cassia. Now, she is not an especially strong hero. She is almost overrated, I would say, and she's not picked very often. That shows how weak I think Cassia is as a hero. But in this situation, it could be the hard counter that Team Finland need to win this game without France replying.
I could absolutely not afford of a better hero to end the draft with. Like you said, in most situations, potentially not, but this one is perfect, and they do have quite solid engage potential if they can force their way past that Muradin towards Sergeant Hammer.
All right, and we're going to see the duel, Cassia against the world, if you will. Let's see if Team France is able to tie it out or if Team Finland is going to take away that 2-0 victory.
Currently looking to try and re-secure their position as the #1 team in Group A. It is Team France with Wonka on that Muradin. In the bot lane, it is going to be Tracer, played by Kurwa, Ewok playing that Tassadar, and in the top lane, yeah, we predicted it. It's Hammer, played by Danatan, and Morales with him, played by Masquerade.
And Team Finland, who consists of Theldwyn on that Arthas on the top lane. He's going to have to face 2 heroes, Klefter and MXD on the supports, Rhaegar and Brightwing. Tix on that Cassia, very interesting to following him. And last but not least, ETC, played by Kiskifish, who did such a wonderful job in the previous game.
He was dominant, but we already see a quick retreat out of Danatan. Second, he sees Tix here, using those boosters to put himself at a much safer position. But Theldwyn is in position.
They're going to try to surprise the Sergeant Hammer. Keep in mind, though, that Masquerade on Melissa Morales has the grenade, the displacement grenade, to really knock them further back. Double knockback, actually. Is Masquerade going to make it? No! They end up falling!
Beautiful gank there. I love the turnaround attempt, using the grenade and that Sergeant Hammer knockback, but the damage and the tankiness from Hammer and Cassia is just too much.
Absolutely. That was so well planned and even better executed from start to finish here by Team Finland. Theldwyn continues to be the bane of the top lane. In the meantime, though, Kirva and Ewok are doing a good job applying pressure themselves in the bottom lane, so it's right now a mirrored image, if you will.
Kiskifish is having issues and is desperately trying to clear the minions so that his tower will help. But guess what? His final remaining tower has already run out of ammo. Theldwyn is going to try and become a saving grace. Brightwing going to join as well, but no, she's not. She just can't. The teleport is cancelled in that mid lane by Muradin.
Yeah, there we go. The Muradin was interrupting the teleport indeed, but even with it, I think Kira would have actually been fine in the Tracer. But still, good to see the reaction coming in from the tank player of Team France.
If anything, Muradin potentially helped Finland because they wouldn't have got the kill and they would have lost XP by Brightwing teleporting away. So very interesting that what was a very solid denial play actually works out in the favor of Team Finland.
And it's so cool to see how Sergeant Hammer now struggles because she doesn't have the mounting abilities. That means switching lanes because they can't really do anything against the Cassia is going to be so problematic. Once Sergeant Hammer is dedicated to a lane, it's very hard for her to switch around anything.
Cassia is focused, and remember, her physical armor only comes when she is moving, so you'll see it very much comes down to the individual player skill of how well they can stutter step as to how good a Cassia can really be. Now, Sergeant Hammer can make up for some of that rotational difficulties if she is to take that hyper-cooling engines at level 7, but she will miss out on sustain.
Now Kirva is applying a lot of pressure, going aggressive against MXD. Is he going to try to finish it off? No, Arthas and ETC are too much of a front line for her to overcome. In the meantime, though, we need to watch Sergeant Hammer applying a lot of pressure while sieged up. Kirva is, Tix is helping out on the Cassia, though.
Tix is in trouble, though, with the Muradin gank. He may actually get taken down here. Tix trying to turn it around. Tix will survive.
So there's a lot of different skirmishes going on right now. The fight is going on the Tribute, and the fight is continuing on the top lane too. So many front lines.
And if you actually keep an eye on that little top bottom left-hand corner, Tix is microing to the point where he is actually always moving. Most of the time, he's actually missed a couple, but he's almost always moving while Sergeant Hammer is attacking, timing his movements between Sergeant Hammer's attacks.
Slowly but surely, Kira's running out of health here. The Tassadar shield's gonna help though, and that Tracer is such a pain to deal with. Almost Theldwyn falling next year. This is going crazy, but look at that, Tetcher. This stalling and this delaying around the Tribute really benefits benefits Team France because even the Sergeant Hammer is going to be able to deal so much damage on the structures.
Good polymorph, but Muradin saving the Tracer there with that Stormbolt, preventing the follow-up damage from Tix, as Tix has finally rotated his way down here, forcing Muradin to jump away. MXD gonna try and cap it as Arthurs will arrive as well. More denial coming in from Wonka though.
Is it worth it though that Tix actually left top lane and joined the tribute fight? Because you can see how much pressure Sergeant Hammer and Lieutenant Morales are able to establish here. Rhaegar had to run away because one Doge is not enough to keep them under control. Yeah, this is not worth it for Team Finland.
That's top 4 gone in exchange for a tribute. Is that worth? Like you said, the argument is probably not. As we do see Team Finland going to try and get some counter pressure though, because they have lots of heroes down here in this bottom lane. Tix is now here, the main damage dealer of the team, is that they're going to try and get a fort in exchange using 4 members here.
They really need that, and I like it actually. If Finland turns on the heat here in the bottom lane, if they equalize the fort score, then it ended up being worth it overall. Muradin rotating too late here. Lieutenant Morales still in the top lane. So I take back what I said. It was a nice balancing play here by Team Finland in the end.
They missed out on a little bit of lane XP due to the fact they did not have anyone in that top lane for a while, but overall structure-wise and XP-wise, they are still fairly even and they have control of that tribute. So very nice crisis management here by Team Finland.
What we see here right now is that Team France doesn't really have a good dedicated mercenary camp clear. So we still see the Siege Giants, we still see the Bruiser camp on their side completely untouched. Now Sergeant Hammer needs to roll as fast as she can because they can't really afford to give up any more tributes. This one is fine, but the next one at the very latest should be contested.
Right Wing is in top lane right now, soaking for her team, trying to do the opposite of what happened. In the meantime though, while this is unattended, Sergeant Hammer is pushing it in the mid lane again. Arthurs wants to try and make play onto Masquerade. Brightwing has arrived, dropping the polymorph immediately onto Masquerade, trying to focus him down. There is the Fed, trying to finish him off. Klepta getting focused, drops the heal. Tracer wants him. Klepta turns it round to drop some damage before he dies. Not able to finish off Tracer, but it's still a 1-for-1. Rhaegar for Morales.
Yeah, both supports are now dead, and that means this tribute will likely go over to Team Finland. Their rotations and their position most likely was just the better one overall. In the meantime, Daniton doing what he does best on that Sergeant Hammer, sieging it up and destroying more buildings, and that explains why Team France now has access to level 10 earlier than their opponents.
So Morales now has a decision to make. She can either commit fully and go for this buff, and she does with the stim drone for Tracer and the Sergeant Hammer. However, we have been seeing a lot of times this game, Morales has been a pretty risky target. This was the decision she had to make. Did she maybe want to take the medevac as that safety tool? But no, she's going to trust that Tastar Force Wall and trust that the damage output will be enough to keep people away from her.
Now there's going to be 2 lovely targets for that stim drone to be cast on, Sergeant Hammer and Tracer. And while I do like a stim drone Tracer, I think it really unfolds maximum efficiency if that Sergeant Hammer gets that boon.
Especially with that level 1 talent and that level 4 talent, the extra damage output here coming in from France could be huge if that stim drone used to great effect. Bomb is used. Klepta will barely survive. Tracer could be punished. Dodges the root beautifully. Arthur's desperately trying to finish the job here. As
stim drone is on.
Is used. He has to use the Frost Rest to keep himself alive.
Cassia is tanking so much damage though. Tix is doing such a wonderful job. It's keeping the stutter steps going, and this is a core skill that you need when you play Cassia. You can never afford to stand still unless you're getting CC'd by the enemy team.
Yeah, that Icebound Fortitude, though, now on cooldown as he used it to absorb that damage from Tracer. Both bosses, like you said, have gone through walls as Finland trying to grab, but this Tassadar denies that we've been seeing all game are huge as Finland trying to force
the Valkyrie!
The Valkyrie onto Masquerade! This comes the stage dive as well. The backline is ruined, but look at the health bars of Finland. They're beginning to drop low as Kiskifish is doing a great job with the harassment, but Danatan is still healthy. Kurwa is in the backline, focused on the Kiskifish, but Tix is still alive. The main damage of Finland.
Burden on the left-hand side, he regenerated a lot of health with his trade. He's back in the fight right now, but low on mana. Cleanse is coming in, the soft cleanse by Masquerade on the Morales. Tracer's going deep right now. The recall hits in the nick of time, and Tix is so low.
He's still alive. No, he isn't. Psystorm finishes the job. Masquerade joins up with Kira, and Finland, the health bars are too low, and they drop down. Only the support's alive. Klefter in full retreat. Please, no, Tracer! He heals himself, but he's now too slow. Gets taken out, and Brightwing is the only survivor.
She's the only survivor to tell the tale of the Finnish team that tried so hard to fight for this tribute, but in the end, there was just too much going on. The Finnish team, they want to engage hard with the ETC, but instead they were forced to fight on multiple ends, and that's in that chaos. That's where the French team thrives.
I love the Valkyrie pick.
Yes.
But the fact is, and this pun was not intentional when I started this sentence, they didn't finish off Morales. She was still alive and able to continue her healing onto Sergeant Hammer, and that was huge in that fight.
Exactly. You know what else is huge? A kill on Arthas here, but it's not going to be enough damage for now. But the Valkyrie, I like the thought process behind it. It is good to really get those squishy backliners like Morales.
It's a long cooldown if you don't get a kill with it.
And even against a stationary Sergeant Hammer, if Sergeant Hammer sieges up and doesn't pay attention, well, that Valkyrie is going to bring that juicy tank in, and the thought process is nice. The execution just needs to be a little bit better, especially the follow-up damage. I think Tix actually aimed that nicely, but the focus and the communication on the Finnish side just wasn't yet there.
On the bright side, for Finland here, even though they don't have level 13, this is not a cursed tribute. They've actually been winning the tribute game so far. It is now 2-2. So they are not in that immediate danger. And as such, ETC, which we saw, did take the stage dive.
Oh, here comes an invasion.
Split soak, but here is that invasion. Stage dive will have to be used by ETC. Valkyrie once again gets Morales. ETC is power sliding through, trying to focus him down, but immediate knockback from Dalatan, allowing them to retreat. The camp was still taken by Finland. A beautiful, forceful will stop the chase from Team Finland.
Yeah, that was a very ambitious move by the French team, but in the end, it was the Finnish team who maintained control over that mercenary camp. It was actually a very close one. Morales, Masquerade, really just probably starting to sweat underneath his armor quite a bit here, because he's the focused target #1. We can't really blame him, but this time he did a much better job at staying alive.
Yeah, like I said, it was a very interesting raid there. Before Finland had level 13, so that was very good timing by Team France, but Finland, beautiful fight, nice stage dive, and once again the Valkyrie denying so much healing to Team France.
Absolutely, but now we see some of the key talents, and they have arrived from Murden, Tassadar, respectively. We see the nullification, basically the ultimate form of Shrink Ray, reducing the target's damage by a lot. I think it is 75%, if I'm not mistaken, and then we have the healing static providing so much additional healing for Murden. Now that tank player Wonka is going to be much more resilient and can afford to go in more recklessly.
Cassia with more damage output being taken here with the Thunder God's Vigor to get that extra cooldown reduction on her Thunder Fury, that level 1 javelin. Sorry, just javelin ability.
All right, keep in mind that Morales' W clears lows and reduces the cooldown upon doing so, but Delduin is the menace. They can't surpass him. Morales is completely zoned out by Arthas.
Lefter gets destroyed by Tracer. Tix is alone with MXD here. They're trying to do something, but Tix is low, focused down, and that was a dominating fight by Team France.
And guess what you do not have when Delduin on the Arthas is busy chasing Morales? You're not going to have any peel, any attack speed, movement speed slows against Tracer, and Kira was absolutely wreaking havoc in the backline of Team Finland, and that team fight was handsomely won for Team France. They're now going to even time the boss, so they will get maximum efficiency of the next curse, which is probably going to belong to them.
Now, what we're seeing here is the fact Finland have to keep grouping up for team fights to get the value out of Rhaegar and Brightwing, but they're being hit by the Napalm, by the Psystorm, and the second one person's low, Tracer can jump in, and there's a good chance that she will be able to get them.
Unfortunately, Arthas is not strong enough of a threat for Morales to take her down all by himself, and you could really see how the intention was good, but in the meantime, he also seemed to have forgotten what was going on in his own backline. So communication issues here for the team from Finland. However, they're now going to have to defend a cursed base. The Valkyrie knows it!
They're focusing Morales again. This time, they might get her!
They got her!
It goes down! MXD, though, will drop as well, thanks to that graduating range of Sergeant Hammer, who rains down Fury onto the members of Team Finland. Delduin forced to retreat.
You get one, guess what? There's going to be a couple of other members that you need to worry about. Kira and Tassadar, with combined efforts, they take out the Rhaegar, and there is more up for grabs. Theldwyn is going to be the next to fall. Doesn't go down without a fight, but it was not enough to take out Kira either. The boss is knocking on the front door. The curse is still active. And ladies and gentlemen, the French team will make the tie a reality.
Yes, they will. We're going to a 1-1. Ladies and gentlemen, the boss is too healthy, and that is going to be GG, as Team France will take game number 2.
What a performance there. There were so many potential threats coming in from Team France in this game that there were just simply too many front lines for the Finnish team to work against. They tried to shut down the Morales. Well, guess what? Sergeant Hammer and Tracer are raining havoc on the backline. They tried to take care of the assassins. Well, guess what? Morales kept them all alive. It was a beautiful symphony, wasn't it, Bakery?
Yeah, the double threat, double buffed heroes from Team France absolutely destroyed. And Cassia, it just wasn't enough damage in the end. Like, they got out-sustained and they didn't have the damage to actually take anyone down. Even when Medic was delivered straight into the middle of their team, they could not kill her.
I love the play. I love the play with Valkyrie, but if you can't finish the kill, it's so not value when you compare it to potentially Ball Lightning.
Yeah, would you have liked to see a Ball Lightning instead of the Valkyrie, maybe?
I think the Valkyrie was the way to go. That was the only way I think they could kill people, but even then, they just didn't have enough. And the first replay I have, actually, is going to show how they thought this game would play. So Arthas, he's been waiting the bush the entire time. He comes out, he lands the root. Look at the value from charge strikes. Absolutely destroys both enemy heroes. And they thought this was how the game would go. They would get onto Medic, they would hit Medic, and then Hammer would die to the charge strikes. That was the plan. But it didn't work out. Apart from that ganked up, it didn't work out any other time. So I have the 12 vs 11 team fight for you as well as my second out of 3 replays. So we've already had this huge team fight go down. Everybody's used ults. But look at Curva. He has the shield from Tassadar, he has the healing from Medic, and now they're all full HP, and this is just too much. Theldwyn is trying to zone out the 2 over here. Curva goes in, the dodge on the bomb from Tix, but he's so low. Kiski Fish tanks the bomb, and now Brightwing just a second too late on that TP. The storm does come out, and as soon as Cassia goes down, well, that's lights out for the Arthas, it's lights out for the ETC. Both of them go down, and this is where Finland completely lose the game. If they win this fight and get this curse, they've won the game. But the fight just too strong from Team France.
How much of an issue is this now, Tetra, for the Finnish team? Losing game number 2, can they muster for game 3?
I think they can. They were looking very strong in game number 1, and in this situation, it was just a lack of damage, a very strong controlled draft by Team France overall. But Finland have shown they can come from behind situations multiple times.
Yeah, the team with the better draft has won both games. And as we go into our third and final replay, you will see the strength of this draft from Team France. So they're going to try and focus down onto Mjolnir as soon as he comes in. And you're going to see they just do not have enough damage. They get a nice CC chain, stun to go in first, polymorph to follow it. He gets to about half HP, but he pops the avatar. He gets that thunderclap. Now watch Curva. So we see ETC get low. We see Klefter on the Vega. He's still like 60%, but Curva, that's all he needs. He almost one-shots him. The splash damage from the bomb almost one-shots ETC as well. And as soon as you lose 2 people at the start of the fight, that is all over, I'm afraid. As we play it out, we're going to see all 3 remaining members of Team Finland fall. And that sums up the game, pretty much.
Yeah, and the very mobile in that fight, especially Sergeant Hammer, mobile when she needed to be, did not do the classic Hero League trick of just sitting in siege mode for too long in these fights. And right at the end, though, we saw her sieging onto that keep, and it was beautiful. The extra graduating rage really denied that engage potential that we could see from Team Finland.
Yeah, we could really see a strong French team here coming into this game number 2, and we're going to find out which of the teams is going to take this whole series right after a short break, and you do not want to miss it, so don't go anywhere.